This may be a hot take, but I'm gonna say it anyway. For a lot of people of color, the only reason you care about racism is because it negatively affects you. And for a lot of people of color, if you weren't a person of color, you would be racist. Tell me I'm wrong.
That I'm racist? Well, that's very funny. I can't be racist by definition. Look that up. Look that up in the white folks dictionary. How can I be racist? I've never told anyone where to live. I've never told anyone what kind of jobs to have. I've never kept anyone from going to a school, or out of a restaurant, or drinking from a fountain. I've never lynched anybody. So how can I be racist? How can I be racist? By definition, I can't be racist.
Well, I think what's happening is
how can the slave be the master? That doesn't even make sense.
And that's the point.
They would take the skin of African slaves and actually make shoes out of it. This is something that they don't like to talk about. Even today, there's a company over in Europe that makes shoes and leather products based on human skin. Right now, to this day, they make leather products based on human skin.
Crazy.
Tell me something that white people say to let you know that they're low-key racist.
You are a very fine gentleman. You're one of the good ones. I have a problem with my daughter dating people like you, but it's okay. You're okay in my book. Hello everybody, good evening. Thank you for having me. Oh wow, I'm quite surprised. You are very well spoken. What are you talking about? I'm not racist. It's a part of my heritage. Wait, you're black? Yeah. Like, African? Yeah. There is no way. How? Well, you know, you look white. You have Eurocentric features. Your lips are not big enough. You have a small nose. Last but not least, despite making up 13% of the population,
Black people can't be racist because they don't hold any power in society.
I've heard that before, yep.
And that's one definition of racism. I take racism as just being ignorant to somebody's like thing, like hating someone's skin color, just hating it, like just because they're white.
What's the word? Prejudice?
Prejudice.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, nigga.
Some people say that black people can be prejudiced but can't be racist. I've heard that before.
Yeah, that's what they say because they don't have any superiority in the social hierarchy.
And they don't have.
Stole all my talking points.
Yeah, we gotta get rid of those clips, man.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Desi Eden. Welcome to 5BC. And I'm going to start every show off with saying a shout out to Preach, our lost brother, RIP brother. Always love you. You all be in all of our hearts. Today's show is about can Black people be racist? We had our Tuesday meeting and we all did our research. And I think it all depends on what you consider racism. I know a lot of people think if you hate someone that you're a racist. If I say I don't like Desi's from Trinidad, his family, and I say I don't like Trinidadians, people say that's racist, but I have no power over Trinidad. And some people say if you have no power over a certain group, then you can't be racist. So Black people, I I think I asked at the last meeting, is there any country you can think of in the world where black people are in charge and are being racist towards people? Like, can anybody on the panel think of anywhere in the world where black people are the majority and the people are complaining that these black people are being racist towards us?
In South Africa, the white people are complaining about the farmlands being reappropriated. So what happened was the Dutch from Europe came to South Africa, took over, grabbed all the land and started farming on it. And now that everything's been reconciled, that land that was seized originally from the black people is getting seized back to the black people. And there's people in the United States are ready to go to war to help white South Africans defend the land that they stole.
I'm glad you brought it up. We're homeless. We're homeless.
That is what I was gonna say. They're mad that the black people want their stolen land back.
Right.
You know, that's just so they're saying those black people are racist. Is that what they're saying?
That's what they're saying. Yes.
Yes.
You know, if they were racist, they would have kicked them out too.
Yeah. So obviously there's a discrepancy between what's racism and what's prejudice. Right. I mean, they used to say Barack Obama was racist, right? I mean, I can't even think of one thing that Barack Obama did.
Well, he was racist because he stuck up for Trayvon Martin. So in the eyes of some white people who need an excuse not to like the guy.
Right.
You know, that was their excuse. Well, he's racist because he said Trayvon Martin could be his son.
Right.
Or he's not taking the side of the white police officers that are shooting unarmed black men. So he's racist. So basically, he wasn't allowed to be a human being. You know, he wasn't allowed to say, hey, it's wrong to shoot unarmed black men, even though I'm the president. You know, he had to have a beer with a white guy. The most powerful man in the world had to stoop and have a beer with the beer gate. Remember that?
Yeah.
Didn't have a beer with somebody, you know, just to discuss racism. And he's the president of the United States. That's ridiculous. But
yeah.
So yeah.
Tanya, queen of the show, we're gonna go to you. What is racism? How if somebody said explain, say I just landed in America from Mars, and I said, Tanya, what is racism?
I would say nanu shazbat. No, seriously, racism in my eyes, okay, is when it's not a prejudice, which most human beings have that. Prejudice is different. I don't like your glasses. I don't like your eyebrows. I don't particularly like noses, whatever those things are, right? But when you say racist, that means that you would like to annihilate in many forms, whether that's genocide, homicide, whatever side, you want to annihilate that whole race of people based only on their race, nothing else. So that's when when I call someone a racist, I'm not talking about Jane down the street that just, she didn't like that I had more money than her. I'm not talking about her. She's nobody to me. I'm talking about Johnny, who not only does not like me, but is going to go out of his way to make sure I get speeding tickets every time I pass by him. He's going to make sure that I don't get a job when I go to apply for a job. He's going to make sure my daughter does not get in college. He's going to make sure I don't get that job, the other job. What else? He's going to make sure I can't even eat. Like he's doing everything in his power to make sure I don't eat, that my health that will decline so badly that eventually I die. In other words, they're trying to annihilate me, basically. That's when I say racist, you are trying, when we called out the Karens, the reason why I say they were racist is because someone could have got killed based on her, oh, I can't believe this is happening to me. And if the cops would have responded wrong, that would have been a dead black man or a dead black girl. If you saw the girl in the mall with the Victoria's Secret, that would have been a dead person. That to me is a racist because your intention is not that you just, I don't really like that. I don't really like her too much. It's not that. It's not only do I hate Kevin because he's black, but I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure Kevin doesn't get a damn thing in this society, period. That's racist to me. It's that serious. So
Yeah. Okay. So, but Kevin, I'm going to show this video, then I'm going to come to you.
Okay. Let's do it.
All we've ever needed was the opportunity. To be black means to be the best. We deprogram our students right now. See, on a plantation, Abraham Lincoln figured out you have 300 slaves, you have one master. That's a lot of work to watch that many slaves. Why don't you let them go? But don't teach them who they are. Don't give them their story. Notice the word his story. That's all history is. Don't give them their story. Don't make them feel good about themselves. Then you won't have to watch it. They will even say in 1988, 89, 90, 91, they will even say to be white is to be smart. To be black is to be what? To be dumb. We want to deprogram about 200 years of brainwashing. But remember, the first step is you need to know who you are. You are an African American people. Your history did not begin in 1619. It began 4 million years ago. And when you start talking about good hair and pretty eyes, your hair is good hair and your eyes are pretty eyes. You are beautiful just the way you are. When you do well in school or when you do poorly in school, there are only 4 ways to attribute it. You can attribute it to your ability. You can attribute it to effort. You can attribute it to luck. And you can attribute it to the nature of the task. It was either easy or hard. For example, if you think you're good in math, if you got 100 on a math test, you would probably say, I'm good in math, and that's why I got 100. And if you got a 40 on the math test, you would probably say, I didn't study hard enough. You would never question your ability because you believe you're good in math. So if you got 100, you attribute it to your ability. If you got a 40, you probably say, I didn't work hard enough, which means the next time you take a test, you will study harder. But if you feel I'm not good in math, I'm not good in science, if you got 100 on a test, you would probably say it was luck. Or you would say it was easy. And if you got a 40 on the math test, you would probably say, well, I never was good in math. What happens is when you do not feel good about yourself, you won't work harder the next time because you attribute the bad grade to your ability. I want you to attribute your success to your ability. And if you do a bad job, if you did not do well on a particular test, attribute it to effort. It's a real good feeling when you never give up on yourself, when you always believe in yourself. You see, many of us are afraid to try. We give up because we doubt our ability. It's called a psychology of performance. Never question your ability. Always believe you didn't work hard enough.
And that is the definition of racism, right? Right there. I mean, just to make people feel bad about themselves, right? To make us doubt ourselves. And that has been done for hundreds of years. So, I mean, in my opinion, that is a definition of racism. But Kevin, I'm going to let you take it from here. You can.
Hey, first of all, man, that brother, that's why we should have never integrated schools.
Yeah.
Because that's what that would be taught. Like if we had black teachers teaching black children,
yeah,
then that most likely would be taught. You know what I'm saying? What he just said to be taught to every classroom of young black people in America, you know. So that was powerful. And
yeah, because not to cut you off, but when teachers sit in the classroom, when they're at the head of the classroom, and they're looking at those black faces, I don't think they're looking at smart kids.
Nope.
In their mind, they're not looking at.
They don't think they're looking at smart
right.
kids.
They don't think right. They don't think they're looking at smart kids. Because I remember taking a class when I first came to this country, and the teacher would always ask me, "Hey, how are you going? How's it going, Carl? You think you got it? You think you got it? Are you sure? You need me to go over anything with you?" You know what I mean? He would always ask me if I'm sure. Do you think you got it? You know what I mean? And then at the end of the end when the course is coming to an end and we did the finals, you know what I mean? I got an A minus, but most people got B and C, and you know what I mean? So he was just focused on me,
right?
Solely because he thought it was black and not smart.
Black and not as smart as everybody else.
Yes, that happened to me since elementary school.
Yeah, me too.
Always, and so I would just, you know me, you call me a dummy, I'm gonna sit there and like, what you say? whatever. You know, I learned later that that was not the right thing to do. But you know, when you don't have a teacher that has confidence in you, that's the worst at a young age. At our age, we know better. But when you're like 6 and 7 and you don't know what's going on, you can't figure out why is Tommy and Janie getting all the help and I need help and no one's helping me, because some people don't want you to get the lesson. That's why it's important for parents, especially African-American parents, to keep track of your own children and make sure they're learning at home.
Right. I had one teacher in the 5th grade who actually did the opposite. This was a white teacher, and I used to look like Webster or Gary Coleman. I was a cute little kid. So I got away with a lot. I got away with I would smile, no, I don't know. And the teacher would kind of let me go. This guy, Mr. Taylor, took his ruler, whacked it on my desk, and broke it. He says, "You're a cute little black kid, but you're not going to be a cute little black kid forever. You better start learning." And I was like this.
Wow. Yeah. We always one good accountable teacher.
Yeah. And the other thing is, too, when you have West Indian parents, they're going to beat you if you don't get good grades.
That's just West Indian, Southern black parents. Hello.
Hey, Dad, you still got a little Webster in you, bro. Yeah. I'm gonna point that out.
What you talking about, Willis?
Yeah, it's very important that we
So we're doing all this research. Can black people be racist, right? And Paul Mooney basically stole all our thunder with that clip. But that's all good. It's all good because nobody can tell it like Paul Mooney.
Right.
He hit it right on the nose with what he was saying. Then I thought about it because I've been doing research and watching, clips and stuff. Can black people be racist? Then I go, well, can black people be racist towards black people? Because I don't believe we can be racist towards white people. Yeah, we can have our prejudice, but there's no way we can be racist towards white people because we don't have that power, as Mr. Mooney was saying, to control them. But black people can be racist towards blacks, I believe. I mean, because you have somebody like a Candace Owens, for example, or Justice Thomas, Clarence Thomas. Those guys who are
he has power. He's a judge.
Judge with power, and he has done everything in his power to, not help African Americans since he's been in power. So that's scary when you have black people that's racist towards other blacks, like a Clarence Thomas. And Candace Owens has no power, but she, of course, uplifts white supremacy with her voice, and they take advantage of that and give her a platform, so she can embolden more racism towards, black people. She still believes that Derek Chauvin got a rough, got the worst treatment, and he should have got off and all that stuff. So, and
does he really?
George Floyd got what he deserved, and Derek Chauvin should be walking free. I mean, she made that very clear in her comments. So, and she's done this on Fox News. So she has, shown racism towards her own kind, and like you said, Tanya, Clarence Thomas has power to pass laws that can affect, the black people in America. So black people can be racist towards other blacks. It's probably more dangerous, but I don't believe that. Because I don't like Donald Trump, I'm racist.
Right. Because
even though I get called racist for not liking Donald Trump, by Trump supporters, you're racist. They can see that I'm racist because I don't like Donald Trump, but they don't see that Donald Trump's racist.
But that's the difference. You're not trying to kill him. You're not trying to hurt him. You're not trying to even you didn't even try to get him out of office physically.
Don't get me in trouble, Tanya, because I do want all those.
Secret Service is always watching.
You can't
just throw that word around.
President now.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying when people, white people get mad if we say that, and then they throw it back on us, say you're racist. Yeah, it's just.
I don't think they know the definition of racism.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Stop undermining them. That's what I'm saying.
They seem to think that if you hate me, you're racist. If you hate someone, you're racist.
No, they know that is the jargon used to stop Kevin in his tracks from talking about what we're really supposed to be talking about, which is Donald Trump's a racist. So I'll call him one.
Also, too, what happens is when you get into a debate, I'm giving it back to you, Kevin, in a second. When you get in a debate with somebody white, the first thing they do is call you racist because they're trying to beat you to the punch because it's obvious that they are racist. And they figure if they call you racist first, somehow they won. But you're right, Tanya, you're right, Kevin. They're not even using the right definition. Kevin, back to you.
No, you're on point. You're on point, brother. Thank you. So yeah, I was saying that we get called racist for that same reason. For calling white people racist, we get called racist. But it's impossible just for us to be racist. I mean, do we not? We have been victims of racism forever. Like we don't benefit from keeping. I'm gonna give you a perfect example. What's the white boy that killed the people in the church? Dylan Roof.
Yeah.
So he shoots these people in the church basement with 9 people. I think he murdered or executed, I should say. And the next day, those families were on TV, national television, saying, we're going to pray for Dylan Roof. We forgive him. We're going to pray for him.
Good.
That's a perfect example because I don't see no way in a million years if the shoe was on the other foot, if a black guy walked into a church and killed 9 white people, there would be no forgiveness on the news the next day. They'd be calling for not only his head, but all black people's heads,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Let me read a couple of comments here. Karen Francis said, the old saying is that racism comes with power, therefore black people can't be racist. I agree to a certain extent, but I would say that the effect is different. White people probably couldn't care less about blacks being racist. It probably doesn't affect it doesn't CFR, I don't know what that's acronym for. He doesn't much for them. I guess there's a typo there, I guess. But racist white people in places of power can make their own lives a living hell.
Yes.
Donna Haygood said, I like what he had to say when I showed interest in my kids' education and went to talk to their teacher. They always acted like they were surprised to see me.
Yes.
I swear to God, I had that. Yeah. I went to my sons. You know how they have that open where you go talk to the teacher?
Yeah.
The teacher was in shock that I showed up.
Yep.
And I swear to God, he was almost like hamna.
Yeah. He put a jacket.
He didn't know like what to say. So I've been there, Don. It's Patricia. Oh my God, she said, my first grade Caucasian teacher, Miss Pinky, who as I remember adored, grabbed my face during recess and told me that I was the ugliest little Negro she ever seen.
What?
Wow.
I hope Miss Pinky is dead.
You need to call out her name. No.
I know.
Her whole lineage need to be remembered.
Yeah, we need to get Miss Pinky's last name. We need to find her relatives. That's just. I think it was.
I think that was a typo. I think she meant to call her Miss Piggy.
Miss Piggy.
Oh my God! The devastating. If my kid came home and told me that, are you kidding?
Yeah, but you got to. I mean, like back then, I can't even imagine. I wasn't here back in the '60s. Because you guys were, but I guess the atmosphere allowed for stuff like that.
Nope. You called me out my name in the '60s, and it was a rap. I wasn't a Quaker then.
No, but I mean, like for a teacher to say that, that must have been the atmosphere.
That depends on your parents, because trust me when I tell you.
But it's a holistic thing where if we're in control of our image, like my parents, when they showed up, and they did show up, they were dressed very well and they spoke to the teacher. So I got a certain amount of respect from the teacher. So you have to, it's unfortunate, but you have to project what kind of respect you expect from other people. And if you don't, they might treat you any kind of way.
But it don't matter, right? I mean, a black man in a suit to those people is still a nigger.
Well, I think I see your point, Des, because I would go in with my jeans or my sneakers or whatever I felt like going in. But I also came in with the attitude like, okay, what are we doing? I mean, literally, I had them all shaking their boots one time because my daughter was being bullied it verbally, of course, not physically, because she would slaughter the person. So I was trying to be nice, but like, you might want to handle this before she do. And they were really shocked because I put my foot down and I was like, so okay, I need to know who everybody is and what your role is, because I only need to talk to the most important person. I don't need everybody here. Like, this is not what we're doing. And I recorded it and I got the results that I wanted, because I walked in there like, no, this is what we're doing. My tax pays for y'all. You know what I'm saying?
Karen Francis said I would have whooped Miss Piggy's ass.
I love it. Girl, if I was your mama, I'd be still doing life.
But Carl, wouldn't you agree that there's levels to it? Like, if racism, basically the people who are racist and happen to be white, they have levels too, in that if you show up in a suit, they might really, really hate you, but they're not necessarily going to show their cards.
Yeah.
And if you're dressed bummy with your pants below your waist, they're gonna really give it to you.
Oh, absolutely. I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, but I agree, but I don't, because I've seen what you were going to stereotype, thug-looking parents come in, and they come in ready to really rumble with the right jargon, so that it's not like, yo, what's up, teach? What we doing? It's not that kind. It may look like that party, but when they sit down and it says, okay, hi, so you're Mr. Lee. Hi, Mr. Lee, how are you? And are you the principal? Are you, and who are you? The dean? Okay, good. And where's the psychologist? I need her here too. You know what I'm saying? Like, who's who and who's the player and who's what. It's a different story. I don't care what you got on. But if you come like, okay, what did my little Tommy do? What you think?
Right. And I agree with you 100%, Tanya. But what I was saying is what you project by how you dress and how you look.
Yeah.
To have a
I had one teacher one year. I went to my son's school and I had one teacher. He started out there. So what's going on? So what's going on, man?
Yeah, man. That drives me crazy when someone goes.
You know what I mean? And that just makes me step up my English game. You know what I mean? That just makes me be on point about my grammar and all that stuff, because I know the reason. Huh?
They said what's going on, man. Yeah. I would have said, who are you referring
Did you have that hat on when he called you, man?
No. Is it what's going on, man? Or what's up, boss? One of the two.
Yeah.
Yeah, boss.
Hey, boss.
Nope, you're not stepping to me like that. Nope. Yeah. I will shut you down. And I did it to a principal, and he was like,
yeah.
What? I pay your salary. How are you gonna step to me?
Tanya, you should be very upset if somebody said, "What's up, man?" to you.
No, Kevin. After boring and 2 kids.
Because I was thinking, let me paint this scenario. So if we say black people can't be racist, let's say I open a business and I decide I'm only hiring blacks, and Asians show up, every other, Indian, everybody, and I just find a way not to hire them, but only hire blacks. Am I being racist? Because I have power, right? I have some kind of power. I have the power.
I would think that is in the category of racism. But the reason why I can't quite put it all the way is because, how do I say it? It's not, that's one segment of it. But now, so if they was laying down in the street dying, and you wouldn't help them because they're whatever, that's all the way around racist. But it's just because there's a disadvantage and you're trying to help, oh, I know a bunch of kids around here that need jobs and nobody else will hire them, so I'm going to hire them. I'm not sure. I can't tell.
I was going to say, if you got a black-owned business, and you hire African Americans to work at your black-owned business, that's probably not racism. That's just keeping it in the community or keeping it in the family.
Okay.
But if you walk into a Subway to order a sandwich and all you see is Indian people, in a Subway, and all the employees are Indian because the owner is Indian, that's not how did that work out? Because I've gone into Subways or places. I just told you guys a few weeks ago that Indian people bought the Carvel ice cream down the street from my house.
Now Kevin wants to burn it.
Now, I went in there, right? And it used to be run by, all young white girls working there, college students, And but now it's all Indian people. You know, you got an Indian girl running it now, and an Indian guy in there. There's no more, you know, white or young black guy. It's all Indian. So the Indian guy who bought the restaurant is only hiring people from his neck of the woods or his family or, you know, whatever the case. I don't know if that's racist, but if I wouldn't put an application in for him and he took it and threw it in the trash because I'm not Indian, right? Yeah. That might be racist. But
well,
I think from Paul's
right?
point of view, Tanya, he had a black-owned business.
Mm-hmm.
Subway and Carvel Ice Cream aren't black-owned businesses.
Okay, I get what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying? Those are public places, you know, like a food market or something. You know, Burger King is a public place. So if the owner of Burger King just happens to be Asian, like we all eat at Chinese restaurants, I think, right?
Yep.
I mean,
but they've never hired a black person. Only one in Katona. That's it.
But
actually, no, they haven't eaten
at Chinese restaurants. You don't walk to a Chinese restaurant and expect to see your brother taking your order for shrimp fried rice, right? you'd be like, yo, man. I actually went to a Chinese restaurant and I went to a Chinese, what do you call those places? Japanese steakhouse?
Yeah.
And where they cook in hibachi place, they cooked it in front of you.
Right.
And I was upset because the dude cooking my food wasn't Japanese. He was like
white dude?
He was Spanish. Like, wait a minute, man. You ain't Japanese. You get the tall ass hat on, you know.
Yeah.
You burning my face up, my eyebrows almost gone. So
I get that.
But if we're saying if I own a black-owned business and I decide to hire black people, white people would say, if I can be white for a second, well, if I open my business, a white-owned, why can't I hire all white people? Or if an Indian opens an Indian business, why can't he hire all Indians?
That's a tricky thing. That's a tricky thing though, Carl, because I think because I don't know. I don't know how to answer that because I don't think
it's a hard one.
You actually
having a black owned business and hiring I mean, Patricia owns a business, for example, you know, and she's black, you know, West Indian, Puerto Rican, and black, I guess. She's considered, but she hires everybody to work in her company. You know, you don't have to be, she'll hire white people, she hires black people, you know, for her staff in her company. But if she just said, hey, I'm just going to hire all black people to work at my business, I don't know if that's racist, though. Is that racist, guys?
See, well, everybody knows when I'm looking, if I would looking to buy a car, I look for a black salesman. You know what I mean? If I'm looking to buy a house, I look for a black real estate agent. And the reason I do it is because I know no matter where black people are, they're taking a lot of shit.
Right.
When I drive by a construction site, I look to see how many black people are working there. You know what I mean? I try to, you know, no matter where you are in the world and you're black, you're dealing with the same, we're all dealing with the same shit. So I try to help where I can.
Right.
But Carl, you're talking economics specifically. I'm sure if you had your own business and you had someone black who was going to end up negatively affecting your business, versus someone white who's a go-getter and bringing in money, I don't know what you would do, but logically I would hire the person that's better for my business. I might help the black person in another way, but not if it's going to hurt my business. So when you talk,
it's funny though, because I've been in the workforce, both 9 to 5 and comedy, and I have seen white people hire mediocre white people over qualified black people
all the time.
All the time.
And isn't that racism?
Wait a minute. In our industry as comedians, we see that all the time, right?
All the time in comedy.
We always want to be fair. You know, I mean, we always, you know, what I mean, we always
because we're not racist.
You know,
yes.
You know?
But let's go back because
can we fight racism with racism? Is that I mean,
no. And when you're ready, I can tell you why I think we can't be racist.
Let's do something real quickly. I had a comedy club. I had my own comedy club for 5 years in New York, and I had a black comedian hit me up and go, "Yo, man, you're not hiring any black comedians." Which I said, wait a minute, I got a lot of black comedians work my club. Just this month, the roster was mostly white, you know, this month. But I hired black comedians, but because I live in my part of New York, my audience I catered to my audience, and my audience is mostly white crowd at that time, and I didn't have a lot of comics. The guy that hit me up that was complaining couldn't even perform in front of all white crowd. You know, he was more of an urban Def Jam style comic that wouldn't work for my audience. So that's one of the reasons I didn't hire him, because you're not going to work for this audience with your Def Comedy Jam style. Is not going to play well with this audience. So that's why I'm not booking you. It had nothing to do with me being, you know, not booking you because you're black, you know. So, but
Kevin, I agree with you in that racism and comedy just don't go together, because everybody loves to laugh. Laughing is universal. Yes. And so, but to your point, I know Carl. I've seen him. I've seen your highlights, Kevin. Tanya, I haven't seen you. I know you enough to know that you can work in a room. You don't have to work Def Jam style. Right. And I'm the same way. So I could see that. But Kevin, you're absolutely right in that if a comedian just isn't going to work for the room, what are you going to do?
Right. Exactly. Mm-hmm. I know comedy is different styles of comedy. You know, I mean, Bob Hope is not going to do well on Def Comedy Jam, but you know, but he's still considered
Bob Hope.
But he's still considered a comedy legend. You're right. So
might surprise you.
That style's not going to work well on Def Comedy Jam. You know, he needs his audience in his rooms. You know, so. But yeah, that's just a tricky question, man. Because like Carl said, black people, because of what the shit we've been through, we have to hire our own and support our own. But I guarantee you, if I leave after this show, if I go up to the subway, up the street and walk in there, I already know there's going to be no black people working there. There'll be no white people working there. No Asian people working there. It's going to be the Indian lady that's in there. Every time I go in there, her son and whoever other Indian people they have that come in there and work. I go in there, I just never see anybody in there but them. And I'm going, isn't that against the law? Like just to hire.
See, I don't mind if it's a native food. So if I'm in an Indian restaurant, I don't want someone Japanese serving me. Exactly. I get that. If I'm having fried chicken, I hope you're from the South. You could be white, but I hope you're from the South. If you're not from the South, you're a chef. I don't want that. I mean, if I was going to eat that, right? And so certain little nicks and crannies.
You don't want Eminem rapping?
Exactly. Well, Eminem, he can rap, actually.
It's funny you bring that up, because we talk about be racist, Tanya and Carl and Des. Check this out. There was just a poll out, or I saw online the other day, the top 10 rappers ever. And they named the top 10 rappers. And I said to myself, wow, I agree with the list. The list was dope, but why is Eminem not on this list somewhere? Because in my mind, he has to be somewhere in the top 10 of rap artists, because he is. I mean, I don't care if he's white or not. The boy can rap, right?
Exactly.
So whoever put that list together obviously said to themselves, "We're not putting this white guy on this list."
See, that's
my own personal top 10. I would put Eminem in the top 10.
Definitely.
But I did see a rapper. His name is Cassidy, and he was breaking down the art and science of raps. And basically, he was saying that it's not only how, like, being a wordsmith or being lyrical, it's also your subjects,
your cadence,
and stuff like that. Right. So when he says when people take away from Eminem, it's because like his subjects rapping about killing his girlfriend and
mother,
his mother and stuff. That doesn't put him in the echelon of someone. And I don't want to start a fight here because it's easy to start a fight with Biggie versus Tupac. But when you talk about Biggie, he paints a picture and it's like a movie. You could see everything happening, and he's in a talking style. So he's not forcing words together, and he's not taking poetic license and making words rhyme that don't really rhyme. So, but
okay, all right. If you break it down like that, me might be able to all right, fine. You know, I'd like to.
I'm gonna rap about killing their mother. You know,
right?
You remember Charlie? I mean, like black country singers have a hard time. Like Charlie Pride when he did a show at Madison Square Garden and white people showed up and saw he was black, they were like pissed off because they heard him sing on the radio, but they didn't know he was black.
The
guy Hootie and the Blowfish, the guy from Hootie and the Blowfish. You know?
Right. There's a big country tour going on now, and of the 15 artists, at least 4 or 5 of them were black. So I was
But it's like
surprised.
people we get mad when white people want to invade our culture, but when they don't want to let us into their culture, we seem to get upset too. So
Well, country was our culture. We gave it up.
Exactly. We started it off. There's no,
started
there was none.
Yeah, country.
No,
music
it got
started
taken
black-
over.
black people.
Right.
Yeah. Sorry.
We've been in everything, damn it.
And rock and roll. I mean,
But
come on.
Rock
It
But
was
here we go. We got to go back a little bit and let's set the context there, because my opinion is that there really is only one race, and that's the human race. I mean, that was from Dr. Kaba. What we don't understand is that as people have evolved, history is important. And basically, if you look at all the historical achievements, they are attributed to Africans or black people. And what happened was around after the Roman Empire, around 400 BC, they started traveling around the world, and they started noticing all the contributions that black people were already there. So it's important that we understand the history. So it took them about 1,000 years to kind of gather their forces. But like in 1492, the reason why they honor Columbus so much is because he's the one who launched this new thing that we know of as racism. Before that time, racism wasn't a thing. If you look at the standard of beauty was always black. If you go back to the Greeks and you look at, they had perfume bottles, and on the perfume bottle was an Ethiopian woman.
That's right.
And so this whole thing is, when they started to notice that when they would travel and they would have sex with the natives, the resulting children were always black. And so they started to figure out or think that if they don't segregate themselves, that they would be eliminated. And it's not, but then they shouldn't have been separated in the first place. They're people just like us. But what happened is they started teaming up, and they teamed up through church, the religion. The Pope said anyone that isn't European, you're allowed to reduce them to servitude and make them slaves. And so what happened was the Europeans used to fight like cats and dogs among themselves and kill each other left and right. And the only way they could get out of that was to find a common enemy. And they determined that the most dominant people, who were the black people, the Moors, were the enemy. And so now racism became like a competitive sport. So black people were never racist before, but it's almost like if you're not in a fight and you're peaceful, that's good. But when someone punches you in the face, you gotta, even if it's nature, you gotta fight back. And that's where I think we're all getting confused, or we're all kind of trying to rationalize that yes, black people can be racist, black people can hate based on color, but it's a reaction. It's a reaction to what has been done to us. And so the perception, and this could be this is just my own theory, is that if white people wasn't racist with us, then we would be cool with them. But that's a utopian view of the world. But when you look at history, it's because if all of us are or survivors, we're comedians, we do things, and but like in real life, if you're walking down the street and 5 people gang up on you and they happen to have the same color, you're gonna think that it was a racist attack. And you're going to get people to help you. And most of the time, most likely, the people that are going to help you are going to look like you. And that is what's been done on a global scale. So that's what we're reacting to. So and I looked up, I went to the dictionary, and I looked up prejudice, bigotry, and racism. Oh, okay. The first thing I looked up was prejudice. Preconceived opinion that is not based on reason or actual experience. Bigot is a person who is ostensibly or unreasonably attached to a belief, opinion, or faction, especially one who is prejudiced against or antagonistic toward a person or people on the basis of their membership of a particular group. So that's what most people are falling into, bigotry. And then racism is, according to the definition, prejudice, discrimination, or antagonism directed against a person or people on the basis of their membership in a particular racial or ethnic group, typically one that is a minority or marginalized. So basically, when we're getting in discussions with white people and they call us racist, we have to, unfortunately, we have to be the teacher and get them to understand the difference between bigotry and racism. And back what you said, Kevin, Candace Owens may not be racist because she's part of the group that shouldn't be racist, but she is getting paid to be a proxy to say what white people want to say, but they don't want to appear racist. And so I specifically, anybody who quotes or posts anything about Candace Owens lets me know exactly where they are and how they stand. But
go ahead, Des.
But without the historical context, see, we might be a little bit confused, and I want to make sure that everyone out there is kind of like we're all understanding. You can hate someone. This is just my opinion. You could hate someone because of your experience with that group of people, and you can. But I mean, hate can go a lot of different ways. But racism is a ism. It's a system, and we. Like the definition Paul Mooney said, we don't take part in the system. And even in if you own a business, that's really like an isolated incident. And if you own a business and you only hire black people, you're not going to yell or complain to not necessarily going to the next black company that moves in next to you if they hire a white person. You're going to be like, oh, well, that's what they're doing, or they're making their own decision. You won't get angry. You won't try to shut that business down because they hired someone white. So I don't think your business is racist, and I wouldn't say you're racist.
What would I be? What would I be? Pro-black? Is that what?
You would be pro-black and you would be bigoted. You could be bigoted, but you're not negatively affecting anyone's life if you're not actively.
White people are coming into the business to get hired, and I'm finding ways not to hire them. You know, Asians, Japanese, whatever. They're coming to get hired by me. They're coming to my company to get hired, but I'm saving all the jobs for black people. That's pro-black, or is that racism?
That's pro-black in my eyes.
That's pro-black racist.
I'm like, hey, double-edged sword.
You know.
Okay, so if you had a real estate company call,
yeah,
and you're going out to praise somebody's crib, right?
Yeah,
you're not gonna be, and it's white people. You're not gonna, give them bad numbers because they're white.
No,
right? But it happens all the time the other way around.
Yeah.
I mean, we've heard the stories about the black people have to hide their pictures and change their pictures around and take down their pictures or their African art and put up pictures of, Frank Sinatra throughout the house or whatever the case may be, just so they can get a, good appraisal on the crib, right? So it's not in our mentality to just be, see, you're hiring black people because you're trying to help black people get ahead, and that's why you're hiring them. But it's not in our mentality to just be mean to white people just because of their skin color. I mean, there's no, you can't think of, there's been no, I mean,
we always black, but we're always trying to be the bigger person, the better person. You know what I mean? And that's not the way racist white people think. They don't give a damn about being fair. You know what I mean? Like we said, they would hire. I left the job once because the manager was too white and too dumb to be in charge of me, and I left. You're too stupid. You know what I mean? I'm like, there's no way you could be my man. You're an idiot. You know what I mean? And the only reason he was the manager was because he was white, and there was 3 black people working under him. He was dumb as a rock. I am not even exaggerating. He would ask us everything he needed, and then he would go look good to the CEO.
Every time he talked, pebbles fall out his mouth.
Yeah. I can't. Yeah, I mean, let me show this clip since we're talking about.
Girl, preach that shit. I keep playing over and over and over in my mind that nurse that got fired today for putting up her white supremacy symbol at work. Now, I know exactly what she said. She was utilizing her work and that symbol to let everyone know that she lets people of color, the indigenous and marginalized community members die on her watch. That's what that meant to me as a white person. And then I saw all those other white nurses coming in and chiming in to protect her, and I realized they do the same thing. They are either horrible, if not allowing marginalized community members to die on their watch. We built this system of racism. We're the ones that have to tear it down. I am so glad that you reached out. I'm so glad for your comment. Sometimes it's exhausting because I don't think enough white people are doing what we need to do. You keep doing it.
Good for her. I like her.
See that, Des? I mean, here we are worried about if a white person comes to my business and a black person, and the black person is not as educated or whatever, we're gonna go with a white person because they're gonna help my. These white people don't give a rat's. I mean, they don't give a F. They're letting us die. I mean, Jesus.
Literally.
Right? Here we are. We're trying to do the right thing. We want to be fair, and we're fucking getting killed. We're getting murdered, slaughtered by always wanted, because we're thinking someday the sky's gonna open and somebody's gonna come out and go, oh, you black people, you did the right thing.
Well, let's take the full circle though. We are human beings and we respect other human beings. There are a lot, tons of white people that have the same type of respect. Unfortunately, the people in power and the people that are in your face are the white people who are fine with you dying for whatever reason. They're the ones posting the Candace Owen quotes, and every time a black person gets killed, they post Blue Lives Matter and they celebrate almost. But just because
but you realize how serious that is, though? They're letting black people die.
Oh, I already know. But that's how the first round of us died in COVID.
Desi, you're talking like no. That's just the epitome of evil.
Yes,
right.
And
that's what we've been saying since we started this show. We as a people, not us individuals in this panel, but we as a people have no clue the level of evil that these people are capable of. We keep making excuses. We just can't understand that people can be that evil.
Yes.
I heard you say that.
Yeah. Go ahead, Tony. We got 8 minutes.
Listen, let me tell you why. I know we only have like less than 15 minutes, but just look real quick. This is why I think we can't be racist. Okay. First of all, from the let's go all the way back, but let's just bring it to America. It's slavery, right? We are definitely not, we're just a loving people. And I don't care if someone wants to dispute it, just think about during slavery. Not many of us, but there's a couple, but not most of us did not retaliate. Okay. If we were hateful, mean, vengeful, spiteful people, there would have been a lot of people slaughtered and it would have been the other way around. That's first. 2, we're always sharing. I could be a slave that escaped on the plantation and I see a little baby or somebody, by himself. How much you want to bet that slave would pick up that baby and make sure that the baby's okay, no matter what color it was? That's 2. Then to think about the fact that we breastfed our slave masters' babies, like, whoa, that like we breastfed their baby, even though we've been raped and blah, 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 and used at the bottom of shoes and blah, blah, blah. It is a proven fact in my eyes from the minute of time, I can't even go back besides slavery, that we have always been a loving people. And that's why it's mind boggling to most of us that like, wait, somebody would actually, be in the IC unit and like, be like, okay, the plug pulls, who cares? I believe that's why it's so shocking because we can't help ourselves. I think we're just a loving group of people. And if we weren't, all the tables would be reversed. All of them. Because we fed people. Remember after slavery, we had to clean people's houses. We had to feed them. We could have easily poisoned somebody. That would have been easy. That would have been too easy. I mean, like way too. When I see the Django as a movie and it's supposed to be, the comedic version or whatever. But I'm like, if they did that, this whole scenario would have been changed around. I'm just saying. So that tells you we're a loving group of people, and that's why we're so shocked, Carl, because we're like, well, I wouldn't do that. Like if a guy, a guy even came by and called me the N-word, like I'm mad at him and I'll verbally annihilate him, but I'm not going to physically assault him and kill him because he called me the N-word. Like,
are we loving people because they control our minds so much? They made us believe in them so much.
No.
It
ain't about them. No,
I get your thinking, Carl.
You know what I'm saying? Like they control.
Yeah, we've been silent. Our anger has been silenced. I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
No, but I'm all saying, but I'm thinking no, because no.
Why?
But even if you look,
I think it's who we are. We just never been that. As much as they try to create the illusion that we are. See, we can never, and we talked about this on the show, where they had public hangings or lynchings of Black people, and they brought their kids down.
Picnic.
And they ate lunch
with their kids, and in a family affairs, they hang a Black man or burn a Black
Did
person.
surgery.
We
at weddings.
could never do that. We can never. First of all, we haven't done it, and we just can't do it.
Nope.
It's just we can never search all the history books. You just would never find that happening. If the shoes were turned around, you never see Black people. And all the abuse we've been through in 400 years, we still can't do it.
Nope.
We still can't kidnap a white guy, take him up in the woods, and bring our friends and sit back and watch him burn.
Yeah, even
right.
Dylan,
even historically, when you look back thousands of years, when the people who are Iranian and Iraq, they were Persians. When they invaded with 1 million people, they invaded Africa. We kind of welcomed them in. Hey, we got this. Look at this. We know how to do this. And then they took over. And so it took like years for all of us Africans to say, hey, we're under attack. These people mean us no good. And then they had to kick them out. And then came Alexander from Macedonia, and they took over. And they're the ones who allowed the people who used to be Arabs to take over what was Kemet, and now is called Egypt. But we still don't think that we need to take that back, even though
3 minutes.
Okay, even though our legacy is there. So I agree. I agree with everything. It would be good for us if we could do a follow-up show. If anyone knows of anyone who thinks that Black people are racist or can be racist, especially if they're of another ethnicity, we would welcome them on the show, treat them with respect, and explain to us how we can be racist. Because because I've been accused of being racist, but I'd like to know specifically,
right?
How am I racist?
That would be good.
Let me read a few comments. Kanoshi, I hope I pronounced her name, Bellard. I'm not sure if she or he. They say racism has always been a concept of establishment and control through systematic domination. We don't control anything, and everything established is controlled by white supremacy. Absolutely. And when white people hear white supremacy, I know they think of the Ku Klux Klan, but that white supremacy just means that you are reigning supreme over. You know what I mean? You're pushing your whiteness on everyone. You know what I mean? And Holly said, that's smart, referring to me hiring only Black people. That's smart, because in a few years, that white person will be more than likely to try to take over or steal or sabotage your business.
That's
yeah. She goes, yes, I said it. Okay, man.
Right. It can't just be, this is my boss. It's like, boss, I want your boss. I want to be your boss.
Because remember when that video that went viral when the whole George Floyd was being protested? I don't know if you saw it. I don't remember her name, but in her speech, the girl said, white people are lucky that Black people want equality and not revenge.
Yes.
Right.
Facts.
Remember that? Yeah.
Very happy. Yep.
And that's true. I mean, like, we get up every morning and face this bullshit and with a smile.
We don't even, it's not even equality. We just want to be left alone. Let us build, let us learn, let us do for ourselves, and then we'll see. Let us compete. But the thumb has to be kept on us, because over history, whenever black people were left undominated, they thrived in led society.
Yeah.
So that's why they do it.
All that. Yep. Well, also we can't go into it because I know time is up. But just to put in the back of the brain that the New York Times had did a story about white people being extinct. And I forgot when the article was, 2015, 16. Look it up. It's New York Times, is white people becoming extinct. Look up the article and you will see around whatever time that article was made is when the foot was put on our neck and you saw more black men getting killed. You saw things going out because people who believe in the eugenics part of it really believe that. And it's like, oh, you've been extinct. Because there's all kinds of people that we all mixed up. If we all did DNAs, I guarantee you ain't nobody pure nothing. So that's been happening, but they think it just happened. So because of that, a lot of people are scared. And that's what that comes down to. That's where the racism comes in, because I need to get rid of y'all so that I can stay on top, period.
Yeah. Okay, so with that, our time is up. We want to thank everyone for watching the show today. Thank you. I'm going to thank a bunch of people. Right now, I'm going to thank Gina Fiore. Gina, thank you so much. Gina, I didn't get to read any of your comments. I apologize. Norma Staley, Karen Francis, and Holly. Konashi Bellard. I hope I got that right. Charlene Ford. Charlene, where's Michelle? I didn't see Michelle today. Did I miss anyone? I got Ann Holly. I make sure I say her name twice because if I miss her. Jess Miller. Hey, what's up, Jess? Yeah. Jess is the best. Jess is the first white person that asked me what's it like being black? Like she was really interested. What's it like? She can't imagine what it's like.
They don't want to know.
Yeah,
I can help you find out.
My cousin Russell is watching.
Just say B. Okay, she said just say B. So okay, what up, B? All right, thanks to everyone for watching the show. We'll be here next week with another great topic. Please like and share. Please watch us on YouTube. Subscribe. Tell all your friends. Our show is everyone that I've never had anyone watch our show and not find it very interesting. Yeah. So I'm sure if you share our show, people will be more than happy to join us every Saturday.
Yeah, thank you to our new followers.
Willard Scott died today, by the way.
Who?
Who?
Willard Scott.
Willard Scott passed away today.
Yeah.
The old weather guy?
Yeah, the weather guy, yeah.
All right. All right, Mr. Willard Scott.
Mr. Willard.
Rest in peace, Willard Scott.
Peace to his family.
All right. All right. Bye, everyone.
I just saw the breaking news, that's all.
Love you. Bye.
We break news on this show.
Breaking news.
We need the sound effect.